Hello guys, welcome to the knowledge domain, the concept of life sciences and biotechnology. In this lecture, we are going to learn the general concepts of the immune system. It provides defense to the animals against invading pathogens and cancer. It provides protection against limitless variety of foreign invaders. So it can be classified into two categories. The first one it recognize, second one it respond. And the response is the effector to eliminate or neutralize the organisms, or it can be memory response, which is if subsequently the organism is infected by the same microorganism, then it will give a rapid and heightened immune reactions. Clonal selection theory was proposed by Niels John David Talmage and E.M. Bourne in 1950 that explain an individual lymphocyte expresses membrane receptors specific for a distinct antigen. So this immune system is of two types. The one is the less specific, the innate immunity, which is the first line of defense against the infection. And the second one is specific. We are acquiring it through the course of the time in our lifetime. So it is also called acquired or the adaptive immune system. And the hallmark of the specific or the adaptive immunity, it has the memory cells. So that subsequently it gives a rapid and heightened immune reactions against the microorganisms. So the innate immunity is provided by the anatomic barrier like the skin. It will act as a mechanical barrier, and the acidic environment present on the skin retard the growth of microorganisms. The mucous membrane of the skin, it harbors the normal flora that compete with the microbes for the attachment sites of the nutrient. Then the mucus itself will entrap the foreign microorganisms, and the cilia present on the skin. It propels the microorganism out of the body. Then the physiological barrier, the temperature, it will prevent or it will provide an unfavorable condition for the microorganism so that it cannot grow. Like the fever, it is a protection mechanism against the infection. Then the low pH, no microorganism can grow in the stomach low pH, or in the environment where there are low pH, the microorganisms cannot grow. The chemical mediator like the lysozyme, which cleave the bacterial cell wall, interferon induces the antiviral state in the uninfected cells, and the complement lyses microorganisms or facilitate phagocytosis. TLR, toll-like receptor, also called the pattern recognition receptor, it recognizes specific microbial molecules of the organisms and it initiates a signal to neutralize them, and the collectings disrupt the cell wall of the pathogen. Then the phagocytic or the cells like the alveolar macrophage, histiocytes, Kupffer cell, and the mesangial cell, they kill the invading pathogens and the inflammatory barriers. This is the tissue damage and infection induced leakage of the vascular fluid that contains serum proteins, which are the antibacterial activity. And the phagocytes that will come because of this inflammatory process, they will neutralize the foreign organisms. So these are the various immune cells that will give us the protections against the infection. So the first one is the pluripotent stem cell, the CD34 positive cells. So first they differentiate into the myeloid progenitor and the lymphoid progenitor. The myeloid progenitor through the megakaryocyte, the differentiated cells, the platelet. Then through erythroblast, the differentiated is the erythrocyte. Then through the myeloblast, the final differentiated or terminally differentiated cells are the basophils, eosinophils, and the neutrophils. And the monoblast differentiates into monocytes and the dendritic cells. And the lymphoid progenitor that gives us the specific immunity to us are B cells and the T cell lymphocytes, as well as the natural killer cells. So coming to a broader view of these cells, whatever we have discussed earlier, this is the neutrophil, which are the glycogen molecules here. It has the multilobulated nucleus. primary azurophilic granules, secondary granules, and the phagocytes are present. In case of the eosinophils, we can see the crystalloid granules, and this is the bilobe nucleus. In case of the basophil, there are the glycogen deposits here, and there are the granules also, and it is a crescent moon-shaped nucleus. Then monocytes, it is almost kidney-shaped, and there are the lysosomes and the phagosomes are found. And in case of the macrophage, we can see there are the phagosome, there are the pseudopodia, there are the lysosomes and the phagolysosomes. Then this is the inflammatory process that we have discussed earlier. If the skin is damaged or a tissue is damaged, then there are the microorganisms that will penetrate into the body. So the first one is that the tissue damage causes release of the vasoactive and the chemotactic factors that trigger a local increase in the blood flow and capillary permeability. So the blood flow will increase. Secondly, permeability capillaries allow an influx of fluid and the cells. Because of the increased blood flow, there is the increase in the fluid as well as the cell. This is called the exudate. And because of that, there is a complement antibody and the C-reactive protein activation. Followed by the phagocytes migrate to the inflammatory sites like the neutrophils. This is called the extravasation process as well as the diapedesis. And finally, there is the phagocytosis of the bacteria or the microorganism present here. And if inflammatory process is not sufficient enough to protect us from this invasion, then there is the activation of the second line of defense, the adaptive immune system. So the second line of defense is usually carried out by the lymphocytes. So the lymphatic system has a very important role. And this lymphatic system, there are two types of lymphoid organs. One is the primary lymphoid organ that provide the appropriate microenvironment for the development and the maturation of the lymphocytes. And there's a secondary lymphoid organ that trap the antigen from the different tissues of the vascular spaces, and the mature lymphocytes can interact effectively with that antigen. So this is the place of the fight, the secondary lymphoid organ. So this is a human body. You can see the lymphoid organs like the adenoid, tonsil, then there is the lymph node, then spleens, Peyer's patches, and there are the lymphatic tissues, appendix, and the thymus. These are the various lymphoid organs present in our body. Those are the part of the lymphatic system, and this is the tissue space. In the tissue space, we have the lymphatic capillaries through which the fluid will be drained into the lymphatic circulation, and it will go through the lymphatic vessels and through the afferent lymphatic vessels into the lymph node, finally to the efferent lymphatic vessel, and like the lymphatic circulation is completed or it is executed from the tissue into the lymphatic circulation. And we have this one lymphoid follicle and secondary lymphoid follicle. This is a lymph node. So this is a broader view of the lymph node. We can see that it is a smaller tissues, and this lymph node is provided with the blood because there are cells in the lymph node. So we get the blood from the lymphatic artery and the lymphatic vein. So these are the post capillary venules, or these are the capillaries. So this is the place where the exchange of material takes place between the lymphatic system and the blood vascular system. So this is the connecting link in the lymph node, the capillary present. It exchange the material between the blood vascular system and the lymphatic systems. So this is a very simple schematic. These are the various organs, and in these various organs, the tissue fluid, they are drained into the lymphatic systems, and there is a connecting link between the lymphatic system and this is the blood vascular system. So the adaptive immunity, when it is mediated by the antibodies, which are usually found in the liquid, the serum or the plasma of the blood, it is in the liquid, so it is called the humoral immunity. And when the immunity is mediated by the direct action of the cells like the macrophage that interact with the infected cells and kill it, or by the cytotoxic T cell that directly interact with the infected cells and it directly kill it, it is cell mediated immunity. So this adaptive immunity shows property like specificity because it has the ability to recognize each and every kind of the antigen that it encounters. And as I discussed in one of the previous slides, there is a diverse variety of the antigens, so it shows the diversity. And one of the hallmark of this system is the memory cells because it has the ability to store the memory antigenic properties of the infected microorganisms so that it will give a secondary that is rapid and the heightened response. So it shows the memory response. And as clonal selection theory, it shows the properties of the clonal expansion, and it has the ability to give a specific type of response to a specific type of microorganism. So it has the specialization. And because it is acting in a living organism, so that the source is limited, the source is limited, so it shows the property like the contraction, the homeostasis for the optimum use of the resources. And it is killing or neutralizing the invading pathogen, so it has the ability to recognize self from the non-self. So it does not react with the self cells. So to get a better or a clear view of the cell-mediated and the humoral immunity, this is the internalized antigen digested by the cell from the bacteria or the any foreign microorganisms. So these are processed by these antigen presenting cells by the class 2 MSC presented to the T helper cells. Then these T helper cells get activated and it will secrete some cytokines. These cytokines will activate a B cell, and it will lead to the activation of the B cells to become plasma cells to secrete the antibodies, and these antibodies will neutralize the bacteria. This is the humoral immunity because it is mediated through the antibodies. Then the same TS cell, the some cytokines, they will go and they will activate a cytotoxic T cell. This cytotoxic T cell can also activated by the class 1 MSC processed peptides, and it will activate and it will kill the infected cells. So this is cell mediated response, and it is directly means cell-cell interactions. Then this is a further means clarity on how and what type of antigens are processed, and they are presented by class 1 and class 2 MSC. Here we can see this is a foreign microorganisms. It is engulfed or the phagocytized by these cells. This is antigen presenting cells. So there is the endosome formation. The lysosome it secret digests these foreign microorganisms, and the processed peptides are presented by the MSC class 2 complex. Whereas in case of the class 1 MSC, this is a virus infecting a cell. It is going into the genome of the cell, and there is the transcription, translation, and the protein is synthesized. It is possible for a altered cell also when it is nucleated. So it is a viral infection or a altered cell. The proteins are processed and these are presented by the class 1 MSC molecule. So this is the fate of the antigen activated B cells. So we can see here that this is an IB cell which has not seen an antigen till now. So when it will see an antigen, it will be activated. So there is the G1 activation, then it will proliferate. And after proliferation, if this activation process is the proper, then it will go and produce the antibodies, and after the contraction and the homeostasis of this response, it will go and form the memory cells. And if this activation is not appropriate, then it will program itself to kill itself. This is the apoptosis process. So till now we have seen that there is the B cell response, there is the T cell response, there is the cell mediated response, humoral response, but all of this is possible because we have the immunogen or a antigen that is able to induce an immune response. So is there any difference between the immunogen and the antigen? So a substance that can be recognized by the immunoglobulin receptor, the B cells, or by the T cell receptor when complex with MSC are called the antigens. So anyone that is able to bind to the class 1 presented MSC or the class 2 presented MSC, then this is called an antigen. Means it is able to bind to the MSC of the antigen presenting cells or a nucleated cell, and it can be, this complex can be presented to a means immune cell. So then it is a antigen. Then immunogenicity, the ability to induce a humoral or a cell mediated response. It has the ability to induce the response, immunogenicity. So B cells plus antigen, we can get the effector B cells plus memory B cells. This is the immunogenicity, or T cells plus antigen equal to effector T cells, which can be cytotoxic T lymphocyte or T helper cells plus memory cells. So it has the ability to induce an immune system. Antigenicity is the ability to combine specifically with the final product of the response. That means the antibodies. So from here the antibodies are generated, and from here we have the T cell receptors or the T cell receptor from the CD8 cells and the CD4 cells. So this means substance has the ability to bind with the final product. Then it is antigenic. So all molecules that have the property of immunogenicity, I mean they can initiate an immune response, are antigenic, but all antigens that have the ability to bind to immunoglobulins or a T cell receptor are not immunogen, because it is not certain that they are able to induce an immune response. So all immunogens are antigens, but all antigens are not immunogens. But there are some small molecules, they have the antigenic properties, so they are called the haptens, but they are not able to initiate an immune response, so they are not immunogens. So haptens are antigens, but they are not immunogens. So here this is carrier plus hapten. Hapten is in the presence of a carrier able to produce antibodies against the haptens, against the antibodies against the carrier, because this is also a protein, or a combination of both. So what are the characters of the immunogen? So it has to be foreign. The molecular size should be big enough. Chemical composition should be a protein or a protein plus carbohydrate, or any modification, means any chemical that has the ability to trigger an immune response. It should be complex enough, and it has the ability to be processed. To be processed means the immunogen will be processed and presented with the MSC molecules on the surface of a antigen presenting cells or a nucleated cells, means altered cells. So immune cell do not interact or recognize an entire immunogen molecule, but it able to only recognize to a discrete sites on the macromolecules. So these discrete sites are called the epitopes or the antigenic determinants. So whatever immunogens or the antigen is going and binding to the immunoglobulin, it is not the entire protein molecule or entire protein plus carbohydrate molecule, but this is a certain part of that molecule. Those are actually recognized by these immune cells. These are called the epitopes or the antigenic determinants. So these are the various molecules present on the T lymphocytes like the CD3 and the zeta. With the T cell receptor complex, they means introduces or mediate the intracellular signaling. Then CD4 binds with the class 2 molecule, CD8 with the class 1 MSC molecule, CD28 CTLA4 with the B7 1 and 2, LFA with the ICAM, BLA4 with the BCAM molecule. And this is the class 1 MSC. You can see the alpha subunit has the 3 domains, and beta 2M has the 1 domain, and the peptide binding cleft in the class 1 MSC is between the alpha 1 and the alpha 2, whereas in case of the class 2 MSC, the 2 domains is for the alpha and the beta monomer, and the peptide binding site is present between the alpha 1 and the beta 1. So this is the antigen presenting cell, that can be B cell, macrophage, or the dendritic cells. So the processed peptide will be presented with the class 2 MSC to the T cell receptor of the T helper cells, and here there is the binding of the CD4 also. So this is a complex through which the APC, when it is processed something, it will activate the T helper cells. So similarly, in case of the CD8 cell, the difference is here it is class 1 MSC, and this is instead of CD4, this is CD8, and remaining are same. So this is an example which is almost similar in both. In case of the CD8 means T cell, this is CD8, and this is class 2, this is the peptide, this is the T cell receptor, and this is the CD3 as I discussed earlier, the present on the T cell receptor, and this is the zeta. So the combination of 1, 2, 3, 4, they lead to the signal transduction in the intracellular side of the T cells. So this is the T helper cells. So it can be differentiated into TH1, TH2, and the TH70 types. TH1 secrete IFN gamma, and TH2 secrete IL4, IL5, IL13, and the TH17 secrete IL17A and F and IL22. IL for interleukin. So this is the means the major immune reaction, but it doesn't mean that it is limited to this. IFN gamma is mostly for the macrophage activation and the IgG production, and the host defense is intracellular molecules, and it is also found in the autoimmune diseases, tissue damage associated with the chronic infection because it is generated by the nucleated cells. Then for the TS2, it is mostly allergic disease and it is against the helminths and the parasites, and the allergic molecules that are responsible for the mass eosinophil activation, IgE productions, and alternative macrophage activation. And for the TS17, it is neutrophilic monocytic inflammation, and this is against the bacteria and the fungi. And it is for the autoimmune, the inflammatory diseases. Then the immunoglobulin, that what we are till now discussing. So immunoglobulin has a heavy chain, light chain, and we have the two each of them. And these are the disulfide bonds found in each domain of the heavy and the light chain. Heavy chains are of 5 types: micron, this is gamma, alpha, delta, and the epsilon. And the light chains are of 2 types: kappa and the lambda. So this variable region of the light and heavy chain, this is the antigen binding site, and all the constant region of the light and heavy chains are the responsible for biological activity. And here you can see this is NS3, means the N terminus of the protein. Those are responsible for the antigen binding, and the C terminus for the biological activity. So this is which enzyme digests the immunoglobulin in what way. So this is the first one is the pepsin digestion. So pepsin will bring a cut here below the disulfide bond of the heavy chain. So it will bring a FAB. There are 2 antigen binding domains, so it is 2. FAB2, and the remaining this area is the FC fragment of crystallization. And when it is digested by the papain, it is cutting just above the disulfide bond, so the 2 sides are separated. So it is FAB. So only one antigen binding site is there, so it is only FAB. Here there are 2 antigen binding sites, so FAB2. So here it is only one antigen binding, FAB. So this is by the pepsin, this is by the papain. And mercaptoethanol, it digests all the disulfide bonds. So you will see everything is digested, disulfide bonds. So entire heavy chain is 1 and entire light chain is 1. So in terms of the molecular weight, you will see there are 2 molecular weight. Here there are 2 copies, so you will find 2, but molecular weight is same. So here if it is a native gel, also you will find 2 bands, but the difference between these 2 is it is heavier in size, and this is the heaviest one. This is the native. But if you go for a means SDS phase, in SDS phase or the beta mercaptoethanol, so it will digest this one also. So this will be same like this one, but this one the heavy chain will be of 2 types in this case. So 1, 2, 3 fragments here, and 1, 2, 3 fragments here also. The difference between this and this in a SDS phase is this will the heavy chain will be slightly bigger and the smaller. And here this part will be the smaller, the second one will be the bigger one. So there are 5 types of immunoglobulin. These are the monomers: IgG, IgG, and the IgE. This is a dimer, which is the IgA. That dimer is possible because of the J chain. And this is a pentamer. This is the IgM. So here you will see the 5 of them are linked by the disulfide bonds, and there is a J chain like the IgA in case of the pentamer. And when the B cell and T cell they activate, they also show the similar type of response. But here we will take the example of the B cell. This is naive B cells, means which is till now not seen any antigen. So when there is an antigen, there will be antigen recognition, as well as in the presence of the T helper cells, it will be activated. Clonal expansion based on the clonal selection theory. So first it will secrete the IgM from the effector cells. Then there will be the isotype switching, means after there will be IgG secretion. Then there will be the affinity maturation, means there will be more specificity against the antigen. And when the response is over and antigen is eliminated, then some of the cells which can recognize the antigenic properties of the invading microorganisms, it will save as the memory cell, so that on the subsequent infection, it will give a rapid and heightened response to eliminate the infection. Then this is the primary response. You can see first is the antigen recognition, then there is the antigen response, then there is the contraction followed by the presence of the memory cell. So if there is a repeat infection, it is the rapid and the heightened response. So difference between primary and secondary response is primary, here it is written 5 to 10 days, but it can go up to 3 weeks. And the secondary response is 1 to 3 days written here, but it can go up to 1 week. So the secondary response is at least 1/3 of the primary response, means it takes time. So it is faster or the rapid. Then the peak, this is smaller, this is larger, means it is a heightened response or the larger response, stronger or the robust response, the secondary responses. The antibody type in the beginning, the primary response, it is IgM, there is the isotype switching to IgG, and in case of secondary response, it is mostly IgG, sometimes it is IgA and IgE. And antibody affinity, as we discussed, the specificity it becomes stronger later part. So it is not so specific in the primary response, but in the secondary response, it is mostly higher affinity. Then what are the different means when the B cell is activated, which cytokines is responsible for what type of immunoglobulin secretion? So the first one is the IgM, it is responsible for complement activation. When it is IFN gamma, it will lead to the IgG subclass, the Fc receptor dependent phagocyte response, complement activation and neonatal immunity. And when it is IL-4, it is IgE. This is immunity in the Helminth's mast cell, means it is mostly allergic reaction. And this is cytokines produced in mucosal tissue like the transcription growth factor beta, BAFF, and others lead to the IgA secretion that is for the mucosal immunity found mostly in the epithelial cells. They are transport of the IgA through the epithelium. Thank you.